风起中不将将叫。
Miss President, it is such an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, David. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Shall we dive in with a tough question?
Hit me, David.
What motivated you to desire the most powerful position in the land?
I sought this position of power with the intention of doing great things for the world. And America, of course.
Cool.
But yeah, now, corporations give me a boatload of money and I can do a lot to help my friends. And the people, of course.
We all want to help our friends. But, I'm wondering.
Yes.
Back when you were competing with that other politician, you talked a lot about making peace, and I'm seeing even more war than before. Why is that, Miss President?
I know you are looking at the escalation of American police and military violence.
Yeah, just yesterday my dentist's house was blown up by a drone missile because he was behind on taxes.
Please let me continue without interruption, David.
Sorry.
As I was saying, despite my best efforts. Well, actually, the best efforts of my highly paid public relations and counterintelligence experts, you have seen and heard rumors of civil rights violations and war crimes sanctioned by my office. But please just for a minute put yourself in the shoes of the guys who run the big companies who pay me the money and want return on their investment. If those big companies fall, we all do. And they will take me down with them because I have promised to protect them. And what would America do without a leader?
Okay.
I hear the doubt in your voice, David. Oh sure, from your position I shouldn't expect you to have any sympathy for, or even understanding of, the situation my friends are in. Maybe if I dumb it down a bit.
Please do help me understand, Miss President.
Let's see. If you are a student who hands gifts to the schoolyard bully, I mean, the biggest, toughest kid in school. If you give him things like candy and lunch money, or maybe you write for the school newspaper and say good things about the tough kid, wouldn't you expect that tough kid to protect you and help motivate any kids who won't play the games you want to play? Especially when you know in your bones which games those kids need to play, for their own good.
When you put it that way, Miss President, it almost sounds fair.
Thanks, David. But let's get back to me and my friends. It's pretty hard for most people to understand just how much danger Americans are in from so many crazy terrorists sitting in caves plotting to destroy America. And, as you have doubtless heard on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and Fox, many of those terrorists are right here in America.
They sound dangerous and scary.
They are dangerous. They don't think like we do. Psychologists agree. They hate us because we are so free.
Free? What about all our laws and prisons? Don't we have the most prisoners per capita of any nation in the world?
It depends on how you look at things. Statistics can be manipulated to show anything.
What do you think about former President Obama's Indefinite Detention Act, which severely limits the Fifth Amendment right to due process?
That is a very racist thing to say, David.
Okay. Can you pretend I asked that question about a white president?
My predecessor renewed Bush's Patriot Act and signed the Indefinite Detention Act purely for the protection of America. Since we in the government know so much more about how to make you safe than you do, it's important that we dispense with old-fashioned ideas of courts and juries so that we can move fast to stop terrorism and keep Americans safe.
All this talk of war and terror. I'm surprised, Miss President. I thought Democrats were against war?
That simplistic generalization shows you for the capitalist man-pig that you are. I assure you that I am completely against war.
I see you feel passionately about peace.
I do, David. Now that we have friends controlling every country in the Middle East and many other parts of the world, in some ways we are safer than ever and in some ways we are in more danger than ever. With China and Russia just waiting for an opening, we have to keep our guard up.
What are your thoughts on blowback? Do you attribute any of America's unpopularity to us being on this constant killing rampage?
David, I'm simply not going to answer rude questions.
Okay. With respect, What is your enlightened opinion about the continuous move farther south into Africa? I hear Nigeria is next on our invasion timetable.
Wherever evil dictators abuse their people, it is our responsibility to step in and help those people.
But we wreck most of the Middle East as well as much of North Africa. Are the people better off now?
Unfortunately, we can never know what those evil dictators might have done to their people and to us, if we left them alone.
That is true, Miss President. We will never know.
And where would you all be if I wasn't here with my super smart team of military strategists to protect all of you? But as long as you do what I say, you are safe because we have plans to kill all those terrorists before they kill us.
I heard the same thing on CNN.
See.
But aren't the mainstream media outlets owned and sponsored by the same guys you were calling your friends earlier?
That is exactly the kind of coincidence that overly curious fools waste their time thinking about.
Oh.
You are a curious one, David. Maybe you are looking around and noticing too much. Maybe you are having a harder time believing me. You probably believe the disobedient people making crazy talk about me spending your tax money wastefully.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I worry about my children's children paying for the debt.
You obviously don't understand the basics of economics, David.
Actually, I've spent quite a bit of time lately studying economics. Austrian economics in particular has been illuminating. When I look at how the dollar has continued to lose value since the creation of the Federal Reserve Central Bank in 1913 and especially in the past 16 years, and I look at how much money the Federal Reserve has printed in that period, I get a little worried.
David, there is no need to worry. That is all myth. There is no need to worry. We are in a slow recovery. There is no need to worry. Everyone must do his part. There is no need to.
Are you okay, Miss President?
Sorry. My earpiece is malfunctioning, and I forgot to take my medication.
Okay. Wouldn't you say it's pretty simple to see that when the Federal Reserve increases the money supply, existing dollars become less valuable?
It is never that simple, David. The problem is the greedy corporations.
I'm confused. Do you mean the friends you spoke of earlier?
Those aren't the ones. My friends are the good corporations.
You mean like Government Motors, formerly General Motors? You mean like Union Foods, formerly Monsanto? You mean like People's State Bank?
Yes. We need those companies. Without their help, America would descend into chaos and poverty.
Aren't we already seeing chaos and poverty? Which reminds me. One of the first things you did when you got into office 3 years ago was enact the new People Being Watched Will Commit No Crimes Act.
Yes. That didn't work out as I had hoped. The plan to watch everyone all the time was beautiful but cost too much. The expense of millions of video cameras, new government employees to do the required monitoring, and the 90,000 new DHS agents hired to handle arrests and discipline. Congress cut the budget on that program. Their salaries were in danger. Sadly, there was just no way we could afford it.
I'm also wondering why you give so much of taxpayer and borrowed money to your Wall Street friends.
David, I realize that even if they are all lies, eventually you get curious and even start to believe some of the lies. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give all of you greedy monkey peasants a bunch of free stuff so you can really understand how benevolent I am.
Oh. Thanks.
This goes out to the whole audience. Are you worried about your children or grandchildren going to college because tuition is so expensive? Worry no more. Fixed. Free college for everyone.
Wow.
Are you worried that if you got sick or hurt, you wouldn't be able to afford health care? Worry no more. Fixed. Free health care for everyone.
Where is all that money coming from?
It's complicated. Just enjoy the gift. Live in the now.
Gee. Maybe I got you wrong.
You did. See these tears in my eyes? Hold on a second. See these tears? They are for the children.
What children? The ones our military has killed in Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, or Yemen?
No, no, no. Those are the sons and daughters of America-hating terrorists. I mean the children in America who are now hooked on I mean, The ones who would starve without food stamps and welfare checks. David. We both know you are completely ignoring the approved questions list that my people gave your people.
I think I see your tears now.
Good. So here's the thing I need from you. From all of you. Trust me. I need your support in order to keep doing such great things. See how when people speak out against me, they make it harder for me to do good for all of you?
All of us.
What? Oh, you are a sharp monkey peasant. I know some say how it is silly to think we can do one good thing for many people because people are different.
Yeah. How can that work? Seems like it failed in Mao's communist China, Lenin and Stalin's socialist Russia, Hitler's National Socialist Nazi Germany, communist Cuba, Mussolini's Italy, East Germany, and many other countries that based their politics on that philosophy and failed every time.
But this time, we finally solved that paradox. We have a complex plan to fit a complex world. What we do is make the world more simple by making people more the same. Diversity is the root of inequality, strife, and poverty.
Did you just say that diversity is the root of inequality, strife, and poverty?
Yes. I'm sure you agree how important equality is, David. So if people are not born equal, or some work smarter or harder than others, we need to make them equal.
How? Who measures and decides?
Those are questions for experts to handle, and I have many experts with grand titles on retainer, so don't worry, the equal making will be done fairly. To all the Americans out there watching right now, if poor life choices or fate dealt you a bad hand, you will especially love our plan.
Well, that was informative. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, Miss President.
You are welcome, David. Thank you.
Let's hear a round of applause for the President of the United States.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Hillary, I'm curious about something else. Can you please answer one more question?
Sure, David.
Have you heard of Mars, the Roman god of war?
Why, yes, David. I have.
Interesting. His name has been coming across my field of view lately.
I believe him to be an incredibly misunderstood persona.
Oh, in what ways?
Well, pretty much all of it. They have it all wrong.
Really? How can you possibly know?
I believe myself to be him in reincarnated form.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.